you doing?
Good, Jerry. How are you?
Good.
Good morning. I see that some of you have sunglasses. You will need them because who went to bed after midnight? Raise your hand. Now, I would like to start by saluting the golden graduates, the half-century Huskies. It is my honor and my great pleasure to welcome you to the 106th commencement exercises of Northeastern University. Graduates, we are truly proud of you. We salute you and we share in the joy of your accomplishments. This is the day to celebrate all that you have learned, for that knowledge will help you continue to learn. For your parents, your families, and your friends, your spouses and partners, this morning marked the fulfillment of years of anticipation and dreams. Graduates, join me in thanking them for the sacrifices they have made to help bring you to this moment. Let's thank them. For my faculty colleagues, staff, and trustees, now is the time to take pride in the fruits of our work. Graduates, when you first came to Northeastern, and many times since, your professors hope to inspire you with the phrase, "The world is your classroom." It is my greatest hope that this phrase always rings true in your heart. Never stop learning about this world, for it will be the scene of your remarkable life journey. My charge to you today is to use your power and privilege as well-educated individuals to transform the world for the common good. To do this, You must continue to learn as much as you can about our magnificent planet. You can do it through education, through travel, through interactions with people from other cultures. This degree is not the end of your education. It is your launching pad, your ticket to explore the world and question what you find. Wherever you are headed next, make sure to stop and discover new places. Push the envelope and step out of your comfort zone. Learn to embrace change, both technically and humanely. We all know that the world in which we live is vastly different than it was 20, even 10 years ago. It's a world defined by interdependence and not insularity. In 1956, before you were born, then Senator John F. Kennedy delivered a commencement speech at Northeastern University, and he urged your predecessors to use their education to help the Massachusetts economy thrive and to bring new leadership and new vision to this great state and the nation as a whole. I would like to venture that if the Senator was giving his speech today, he would also challenge you to bring new energy and leadership not only to our state and our nation, but to this world. For Massachusetts and our nation to thrive, you need to feel as much at home in Shanghai, Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, as you do in your own community. It is clear that each one of you will be challenged to engage in unprecedented ways with the global community, collaboratively and competitively. Think of all the elements dramatically reshaping our world: scientific and technological innovations, the migration of peoples, the change in the balance of economic and political power, global interdependence, cross-cultural encounters. No matter what career you pursue, these changes will touch your life. In such an exciting and challenging period of alteration and growth, the opportunities for educated people like you are extraordinary. Your minds are curious and eager to know more. They are pluralistic and embrace diversity of ideas. You are prepared for successful careers and meaningful lives. You are prepared to be citizens of this world. You cannot afford to confine your worldview to a single city, or culture, or continent for that matter. In the 21st century, greater cooperation among nations is essential to addressing global challenges at home and elsewhere, be it world poverty and the spread of infectious diseases, or global warming and the need for new energy sources. Our well-being as a city and nation is dependent on the well-being of other cities and nations. Yet the differences both between nations and within them are substantial. You, the world's future innovators, are charged with helping us understand the nuances of these differences. We rely on your enlightened leadership and vision to help us cope with the global test of our time. I believe that your experience at Northeastern has prepared you for this future. You understand the dynamics of global connectivity in a way previous generations have not. At Northeastern, you explored new ideas, new approaches, and cultures not your own. You did it by interacting with peers who came from different backgrounds, and many of you did it through international co-ops, dialogue of civilization, and overseas studies. When many of you first arrived on campus, the city of Boston was terra incognita, strange land. You challenged yourself to navigate not just a new university, but a new region of the country. Your ability to step out of your comfort zone and succeed is well known. Keep it up. Today, you earn more than a diploma. You hold values and sophisticated skills that will allow you to thrive in this global world. Treasure them, use them with confidence, and do not let them get rusty. Thank you.
American author Dale Carnegie once uttered the famous words, "When fate hands you a lemon, make lemonade." I've always been a strong proponent of making the best of the worst situations, but when life handed me the biggest lemon of all just 3 months ago, I was pretty sure Dale Carnegie was full. I received a call late one night, and when the voice on the other end told me that my mom, a psychotherapist, had been killed on the job by one of her patients, the world around me literally fell apart. In the chaos of those first couple of weeks, I remember thinking back to Dale Carnegie's words and wondering just how I was supposed to make lemonade out of this one. And then something happened. I realized that there was nothing to do but to go on. There was nothing to do but to face this challenge just as I had faced every other challenge before. So I picked up the pieces, relied on the support around me, and made my way back to the real world. By now, perhaps you're all wondering how this story relates to the reason that we're all sitting here today. Why bring up such a depressing story at a time when we should be celebrating our achievement? Well, I'll give you one reason. Because if it weren't for the lessons that I've learned during the past 5 years at Northeastern University, there's a good chance that I would have known the first thing about how to take a lemon and make it into lemonade. I've often wondered about the value of a true education. I've pondered over the meaning of Sir Francis Bacon's claim that knowledge is power. And I've come to realize that the value of education is not the rite of passage itself, but it's more about the possibilities for the future. Here at Northeastern, I've learned not just how to calculate a margin of error or analyze Plato's Republic, but through this process, I've learned how to think and the choice of what to think about. Professors, administrators, mentors, and staff at this university have taught me over and over how to see the obvious and to extract the unseen. I've been taught how to see an issue from someone else's perspective, whether the issue is a disagreement among politicians on a government policy, or a disagreement between roommates over who did the dishes last. An old Latin proverb dictates, we learn not at school, but in life. Here at Northeastern, we've been lucky enough to learn from both. Not only have we gained maturity through experiencing the daily grind of a 9-to-5 workday, but we've also learned how to listen, how to lead, and how to address an issue with thoughtfulness and insight. Through our experiential education, we've gained not only intellectual maturity, but we've learned how to use it. We've taken theory and made it practical. We've learned the freedom that comes from education. We've learned how to extract power from our knowledge. Our time at Northeastern has been full of great memories and moments. The friendships we have built are for a lifetime. And the pathways we've embarked upon and the challenges we have faced are just the beginning of this new and exhilarating phase. I have learned that we are the generation that can mend the errors of the past. Now more than ever is a time for progress. Our generation is not a lost one as some claim. We are more involved in politics than many who came before us. We care to be the change we want to see around us. Every generation has its own challenge, but with every new challenge, we're given a new set of tools. We have reached today with a fresh set of tools. Ones named Google, YouTube, Facebook, ones that have changed the world community and the prospects of our future, and ones that will allow us to forge new paths in politics, medicine, art, engineering, business, science, and in life. We have molded and shifted this campus with our presence and achievements. We have seen Northeastern through the top 100 revolution to the opening of the first Starbucks on campus. We've done great things for this school, and now we must challenge each other to do great things for this world. Ladies and gentlemen of tomorrow, don't ever forget this moment. Don't ever ignore your thirst for knowledge, your hunger for truth. Never ignore your ability to see both sides of the story, and to forgive, even when it seems impossible. Never forget what your professors and mentors at this great institution have taught you. Never look at your experience as average. Don't think of Northeastern and only remember the times when things just didn't go your way. Think of what you have learned and what you have been taught. Remember the staff member that helped you through the end of your shovel, or the classmate who helped you get through the death of someone who meant the world to you. Recognize the obstacles, but don't forget about the solutions. Remember how to take those lemons and make them into lemonade. Love what you do, never settle. Be passionate and compassionate. Love yourself and those around you. Talk less and listen more. Open your mind, have your own opinion, and most of all, inspire others as you've been inspired. Pay it forward. We are the future forgers of peace, curers of cancer, abolishers of genocide, architects of industry, inventors of truth. As the great Roman poet Virgil once said, they can because they think they can. Each of you sitting here today has a discoverable gift, and let us challenge each other to settle for nothing less than achieving the promise others see in us and we see in ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen of the Northeastern University class of 2008, your path is yours. Your story is your own. Make lemonade.
And in so doing, you have mastered life's most valuable skill. Knowledge is the universal currency, and it will never be valued. It's the profound servant of our time. And you not only own much of it, but you acquire the ability to make it. In essence, you are your own entity. And never has the gift of lifelong learning been more valuable. In years past, the things that one learned could be counted on to remain somewhat constant. These are the facts acquired in school when you're out for long enough to sustain a career. But the technology is changing all that. The workplace knowledge and skills we acquire now have a much reduced shelf life, and learning must constantly be refreshed. Technology is spreading and advancing knowledge faster than ever before, spurring invention, and creating new hazards to impress as well. To cope with this constant change, you will have to be more intellectually nimble than any who have ever come before. This is therefore the perfect occasion to consider briefly the meaning of these changes that future technology will constantly make in your lives. What kind of change do I mean? Let me illustrate by giving you an example from the agency that I lead, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC will turn 75 in just a few months. Since 1934, it has collected information on companies whose stock is publicly traded on U.S. exchanges, and it's made that information publicly available to investors and markets. But the purpose of all this public information is to help you as an investor to decide what stocks or bonds or mutual funds to buy. But for most of the 20th century, the information was made public by mailing small bits of it to shareholders once a quarter, along with the more substantial report once a year. If you wanted to actually see the complete filings with the SEC, you had to come to our office in Washington and inspect it in person. In the 1970s, the SEC designated a handful of public reference rooms around the country, but it was still exceptionally difficult and expensive to get to see the documents themselves. Then in the 1980s, when Apple was introducing the Macintosh and IBM gave us the PC, the Securities and Exchange Commission started planning for companies to file their reports by computer. The new system was called EDGAR, or Electronic Data Gathering and Retrieval System. And although it was essentially just an electronic filing pattern from the 1930s European forms, EDGAR brought us into the computer age. But the most important part, for our purposes this morning, is that the SEC's new technologies took over a decade to implement. Companies were phased into EDGAR so that this 1980s idea wasn't fully in place until 1996. And even at that time, companies got until 2002 to file their reports electronically. The SEC's transition to the computer age was so slow by today's standards that you could almost sleepwalk through it. This is not the kind of change I'm talking about that will characterize your future. Your world is going to be marked by change at truly blinding speed. Think about how different your experience has already been compared to the SEC's transition to electronic filing that I just described. During your adult lifetime, the internet has been given. If I might take a moment, personal indulgence that bottom line is tax-free. Keeping the tax collector out of your email is one of my most cherished accomplishments in Congress, and I ask the mentor of that As Armine said so well just a moment ago, we've not only seen the advent of global, instant, always-on personal telecommunications and computing, we've helped shape it. As part of the millennial generation, we were the first to grow innovations such as MySpace and YouTube, and as they passed into the mainstream, you've witnessed their replacement on the cutting edge by dozens of new social networking services and virtual worlds. No sooner are these new technologies introduced than they surprise their creators by proving their usefulness in surprising ways. For example, the latest peer-to-peer networking services are becoming powerful tools for sharing information in healthcare. And they're serving as sites for global intellectual collaboration in science, in humanities, in business and finance. They're even moved to organizers for charities and social service providers. And of course, it won't stop there. Here's a glimpse of what else might be in store. For starters, there's teleimmersion, which combines virtual reality with collaboration technology, so that you feel as if distant individuals are actually right there with you. And when you turn your head, your view will change, just as if you were in the same place with them. New manufacturing techniques will combine nanotechnology and biology, producing, for example, a contact lens with encrypted electronic circuits and lights that generate the ultimate heads-up display. It will absorb video, text, and graphics from a mid-air virtual screen that only you can see. Someday your employer might see you staring off into space and say, "Good, he's working." Your laptop will no doubt become a lumbering relic. Computers will be wearable, blended into the fabric of your clothing, making obsolete even modest apocryphal advice to wear sunscreen. Sunblock will be out, pop-up blockers in. There will be sensors both in your environment and, if you so choose, on your person that record all the sights and sounds around you, so that anything you experience can be retrieved and relived. A virtual automatic diary. You can only imagine the applications for elderly people with short-term memory problems, or people with autism or hearing and sight disabilities. You even have a surefire way of remembering your commencement address. This is the kind of breathtaking change that will be the distinguishing feature of your life. For all of the good that these changes will undoubtedly bring, there is a necessary Orwellian potential too. Keeping that in check will be a great responsibility of yours. Perhaps technology's greatest impact won't be on the gadgets you carry, but on your own health and lifespan. The odds are perhaps half of this class of 2008 will live to be 100. Of course, living longer means saving more money to survive through a much longer older age. For those of you keeping track, yes, this is the part where the SEC chairman gives you popular advice about money. So listen up, I'll make it short. The fact is, most Americans do a poor job of planning their finances for the future. And given the daunting demographics faced with Social Security, you're going to need a plan. You better start now. One great resource is the SEC's online investor education program. Check out what the $50 in just one graduation card from your aunt can turn into by age 70 if properly invested. Then check out the tips on how to avoid scams. And while you're at it, show your grandparents our senior anti-fraud initiative. Most importantly of all, you'll soon be able to exploit the SEC's new technology for investors. as leaving headward in the dust. In just the last few years, a lot has changed in the Securities and Exchange Commission when it comes to technology. Today, the time from concept to consequence is no longer measured in decades. Sometimes it's just a matter of months. And right now, we are on the threshold of completely remaking financial disclosure using interactive data. Instead of an electronic filing cabinet for 1930-style forms, every item with an income statement or a balance sheet will be individually searchable and downloadable. The information that companies provide to investors will be infinitely more useful than ever before. You and the entire marketplace will be able to compare any information you choose for thousands of companies in an instant. We've come a long way from the days when, in order to look up all the information, you had to personally visit the SEC's Federal Records. Very soon, RSS feeds will send the latest SEC filing to you on your desktop or your email without more than you had asked for. But future tools such as this that will automatically gather information from other tasks, whether helping invest or in any other area of life, will never eliminate the need for thought. In fact, these new tools will depend upon your knowledge and creativity to use them well, regardless of their business. It will be those with intellectual curiosity and a commitment to a lifetime of learning who will master this new world of interconnected knowledge, and who will thus have the opportunity to benefit to the service of their fellow human beings. As the ancient proverb tells us, we are more than the sum of our knowledge. We are the product of our imagination. So imagine your future. It is tangible because you have learned how to learn. We are proud of you. Make the most of what you've been given and what you have earned. It is not something you may learn some years or decades from now. Any of you remember something that I might have said? I want to hear from you. Congratulations to the class of 2008. Godspeed. Thank you very much, Professor Coffin. President Board, trustees, faculty, graduates, and all of the assembled friends of Northeastern University. It's a great pleasure to be with you on what is truly a magnificent day for the Northeastern family. I very much appreciate that generous introduction, and somewhat at a loss how to respond, so let me instead quote the words of the humorist Robert Benson, whose birthday is today. Drawing on my fine command of language, I will say nothing. Except, of course, thank you very much. Standing here at the center of this garden, the assembled legions of the Husky Nation, truly a remarkable experience. It is awesome to behold what this institution has become. Northeastern has far surpassed the dreams of your first president, Frank Palmer Spear. But you never lost sight of his vision. He believed strongly that the purpose of education is to carry the work of the school into the home, the office, and society. All of us who are here this morning to honor and support the class of 2008 are excited to imagine what each of you will carry in society. What amazing achievements you have, and the already impressive contributions made by Northeastern alumni. The graduates of this university have become leaders in every sphere of human endeavor, in every part of the globe. I have no doubt that you will too. In thinking about what I say to you today, I asked several people what they remember about the addresses at their own semesters. That will remarkably, few of them remember anything at all. Perhaps that's not so surprising, because it's not that commencement speeches fall on deaf ears, it's that they fall on preoccupied ears, and rightfully so. This is a momentous occasion. After years of effort, long nights, seemingly endless final exams, you are actually finally graduating. The thoughts rushing through your mind this morning are surely more exciting than any that might be imparted by some elder, pointing out life's do's and don'ts, or admonishing you that now real work begins. I'm still going to say a few of those things anyway. But if you remember just one thing, remember this: how this day feels. Savor it. Catalog and preserve this feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction. Then when someone asks you, decades from now, what you remember about your commencement, you'll remember this really important part. It turns out some of the most memorable commencement speeches never took place at all, such as Kurt Vonnegut's famous address to MIT graduates, which holds the record for brevity. Supposedly the entirety of the address was, "Wear sunscreen." Of course, not even ever said that, nor did he ever even give an MIT commencement address. And thus is illustrating what life does. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Just a few weeks ago in Los Angeles, I witnessed a commencement address that I'll never forget. The speech was short, but enormously moving. It was given by the president of USC to a single graduate, class of 1943. 65 years ago, he missed his commencement to ship off to the Philippines, where he became part of one of the most decisive campaigns in World War II in the South Pacific. That graduate was my father. And his long delayed presentation of his diploma was meant for all the men and women of his generation who traded pomp and circumstance for reveille, and who gave up their past and talents for olive brand. Perhaps one of your relatives was one of them. Well, my father's diploma, 2/3 of a century after the fact, came with his promises of the future already fulfilled. The diplomas you hold today are fresh and new. You can't know what will happen next. But one thing at least is certain: it is you who will decide your future. And I know that you, like the Northeastern forebears, understand that there are great purposes outside yourself. There are far greater challenges than merely salary and capital gain. I trust that you will devote your talents and skills not only to your own advancement, but also to the betterment of our communities, of our world. A half-century ago, Irvin Knosky wrote that a graduate's most valuable possession isn't the general knowledge gained from lectures and reading, or even the more intimate familiarity gained in one's major field of study. It is rather the ability to turn oneself into a specialist in any domain you choose. The degree you receive today, more than anything, underscores the fact